Hi Capricorn, welcome to Sophquest. I'm Spence. Welcome in if you're new and welcome back if you're a subscriber. This week is for the week of November 1st through the 7th. I'm going to do tarot and oracle reading for you using two gorgeous decks. This is the Sacred Earth Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno and Leela J. Williams with the artwork of Helena Nelson Reed. Beautiful deck. I love the autumn tones and the beautiful creamy paintings. Just love everything about it. And the Thelema Tarot. This is by Renata Lechner. A beautiful deck also I love very much. So let's start shuffling while I talk about the week a little bit. It's a new moon week, Capricorn. And in a new moon every month, we have the chance to begin something that we're processing through in a new way. So every lunation is really about our feelings, isn't it? And every month we go through the process of processing new things and letting go of things, our feelings, and how we kind of manage them throughout the year. So in Scorpio, that's deep feelings. It's about really deep things, isn't it? It's this house of life, death, and rebirth. It's a private and intimate house. It's the house of trust and devotion. And also because it's about very much about ancestral patterns. It can be about deep wounds and healing them. And so when we have any illumination in Scorpio, we feel it. And being a new moon, it's kind of a new feeling that rises up from the deep. And I think it's because we're making some really good progress now and change. And so I think you're going to be feeling different. And that might be something that you feel around the new moon. All right, so we'll start the week, though, on Monday, the 1st of November, with a trine between Mercury, the planet of the mind, the intellect, and the way we think and communicate, and Jupiter, the expansion and growth of it, right? So that's beautiful. I love that very much. I think it can open the bridge to communication. And the very next day, the same planet, Mercury, squares Pluto with a little bit of power struggle and just enough discomfort to do some problem solving. So that's nice. And then that new moon, let's come up with a new idea. This is how I really feel, and this is what I really deeply desire to start, that kind of feeling. The next day on the 5th, then Mercury moves into Scorpio, talking about our feelings a little bit more comfortably, with a little bit more sharing and intimacy. And on that same day, on the 5th Friday, then we also do have Venus, the planet of love, money and beauty, the things that we value, move into Capricorn. So bringing them down to earth and helping, realize them over time, coming up with plans. So planning for financial things that we're looking at here in the future. So maybe some holiday planning, that kind of thing. So it's that kind of week, just kind of processing through how we feel, what we want, new desires, plans for the future. It's nice. Okay, now, as long as you can kind of get with your feelings, right? Not fear them or push them down, right? Okay, Capricorn, let's see. Nope, that was 2. Shuffling forever here for you, Capricorn. Here we go. Nope. 1 card. Just need 1 for Capricorn. Capricorn. I was sing-songing your sign before I turn on the camera because it helps it, get the sign in my head. And I was singing Capricorn to the theme of Spider-Man, so I don't know. Did you guys watch Spider-Man recently, some of you? I was going, Capricorn, Capricorn, gonna read for Capricorn. I don't know why I'm saying that, but yep, that's what I did. Friction, okay. So we talked about whether or not you're comfortable with your feelings or whether you might be repressing them or repelling them or ignoring them. So maybe a little friction. So maybe that Mercury square Pluto on Tuesday might be a little bit of a friction moment for you this week that is going to matter. And I think discussing maybe some deep feelings about things for you, Capricorn, might come into play with that card, friction. But let's read through it. I'm going to read a couple of excerpts from the book, and now I'm going to pull your 9 cards, so stay with me. If you would settle in, Capricorn, take a few deep cleansing breaths because it makes you feel better, right? I mean, seriously, we get some oxygen in the brain. Relax our shoulders, it brings down the cortisol, lowers the stress. Relax the spine, just makes you feel so much better. All right, take some time for you and get settled in and relaxed, okay? Capricorn. All right, these were shuffled plenty before we turn on the camera, but I'll do a few more shuffles for you. And that feels good. All right, Capricorn, cutting the deck for you now. So the new moon is always a new beginning, and it's a good time to kind of talk about what you want to start and begin, kind of like a goal for the month. That's how I see it. And write it down or talk about it. Write it and put it on your wall. This month I want to, and you know, that kind of thing. Putting it out there. It's almost like making a commitment to yourself. And it's also kind of plugging into the universe and allowing for the universe to co-create with you, right? So you're not fighting against the universe. You're working with the universe during the time and the season that we're in. So when we have new moon energy, it's a good time to begin something new that we want to do in the next month. Okay, so gorgeous cards. You got some four big major arcana just out of your first 9 cards. And then under the deck, whoop, there's another one. Wow, I think this could be a big moment for you right now, Capricorn, and I think you're turning a corner. And I think you're doing it because you want to and you mean to. It's something you're making real. You're doing it. You're taking action. And I really like that for you. Especially because I'm seeing big cards here. Beautiful cards. Like really good major arcana, which means the universe is going to bring it in for you. It's coming, right? It's coming. All right, so with friction, it may be just enough of a rub, right? Just to create just enough heat to make change. Because that's what friction really is, right? Scientifically. So, all right, let's look at it. Friction. Friction. Capricorn. Hold on. There we go. Okay. It says, the earthly meaning. Respond to someone's words, not their tone. Answer an uncomfortable discussion with questions. Does that sound like Mercury square Pluto to you? It does to me. But remember, the day before it trines Jupiter, so it could go well. You could actually solve problems by listening to each other. Okay. Listen, gather information, and be flexible. Change your position due to a clearer understanding, but do not be worn down by argument. Right? So you want to take your stance, you want to say your piece, but you also want to allow the other to do the same, right? Resist an attempt to erode your own character, right? So you don't want to give away all your power with that Pluto square, because it's a time where we have to really have boundaries, isn't it? Counter an abrasive personality by elevating knowledge and experience. Pull back your emotions and let the truth reveal itself. Each movement into deeper awareness does come with friction. Let everything surface. Let go of resistance and don't be concerned. Feelings come and go as shadows of the past. Release them into the light of love. In allowing this change and letting go of past certainties, you're creating a beautiful, clear space inside your heart and mind and embracing a transition that is smoother, right? A smoother way. Yeah. Harness the friction to help you change or adhere to your position. Reduce friction by softening the surface of the argument with respect, engagement, and kindness. So enough friction to create enough heat, enough movement for change, but not so much friction that you burn each other, right? So maybe keep that in mind, the idea of the word friction this week. All right, with those transits going on and this new moon, because you want the new beginning, the new feeling, the new deep feeling, to be one of relief and release and ease instead of repression and I'm getting angrier, I'm shoving it down, getting more and more resentful, right? So what's the friction going to do? Is it going to make it worse or better? And that's kind of up to you. And I'm saying that because there are 2 cards on the table that are both major arcana that are telling me that you have a lot of you have a lot of the potential in you this week, Capricorn, to truly make the change, to create the space for the change to be better. All right, under the deck, internally, subconsciously, what's surfacing for you is wanting it to get better with the sun. You want things to grow and blossom so that you can have abundance and happiness. That is, I think, your intention. And with the Four of Wands, this could be in relationship, in marriage, at home, with the people you get together with and love. Three of Cups. This is home and family, good times and friendship. This is, good feelings and good times with the people you love. I mean, that's beautiful. This is what's in your inside, in your deep heart, this is what you want. And because this is what you want, this is exactly, if you could just take a picture of these three cards, take a picture on your phone of these three cards, and look at it every day this week and say, this is my intention. And if you just remember that, I think you're going to be doing really well this week, Capricorn. This is your intention. So even if you argue and there's friction, listen with the intention for things to get better. So if you're listening to the concerns, needs, or desires of others, even if you disagree, at least the listening is the respectful and the loving part of the friction, which allows for some change. Because, emotions are how we act on our feelings. And our feelings are temporary. They come and go, but we have to process them, don't we? And that's what Scorpio season's about. How do we transmute it, right? How are we taking it in? How are we releasing it, right? So it's like bringing it into form, new moon, and releasing it full moon. We do this every month. This is the way the moon rules the tides and all of the water in us. It's how we move through our feelings on this planet, and sometimes there's friction. So what? Big deal. It's temporary and you move through it. All right, let's go across the top. Four of Pentacles. You have been keeping something inside, definitely. But there's a new beginning here that's going to be very real, and I think it's because you've looked at how you've been feeling. It's like, this is how you want to feel. Three of Cups. Like really happy and friendly with everyone, and happy home, happy times, right? Sunshine. But what you have been feeling is kind of shut down. Four of Pentacles, Four of Cups. Not really being able to transmute those feelings. Not really wanting to share them, because Scorpio season is internal. It's very private, isn't it? It really is. It's very intimate. And sometimes it feels a little too close to home to talk about it. So it's hard to share it with others. So first and foremost, don't judge your own feelings. Just allow them and get through them. And then when you do have a moment with someone where you can share it, you transmute that energy and release it by allowing the emotional intimacy with someone else, right? That's how we kind of bond, isn't it? Honestly, it's not just in the good times. We bond also when we're there to shoulder each other's worries and pain and difficulties in life, right? So I think everyone's going through sort of that process this month in Scorpio season, but this week is about a new way. Trying it in a more positive way, a more sharing way. Because you've looked at it, you've looked at the past, you have Seven of Pentacles. I've tried so hard to deal with this in a very real way. I've been trying to manifest with the center card in your reading today, the Magician, a relationship here where, it's worth the work. It's such hard work to have a relationship, isn't it? Right? Especially if it's in marriage, right? And you've been doing it a long time, or a long-term relationship, or with a family member or a lifelong friend. In the end, you know each other's light and shadow, and it does take work, doesn't it? It takes patience and tolerance and forgiveness and a lot of things over time. This is stuff we have to practice, isn't it? That's love in action. And that's kind of how you're looking at this relationship this week. What action do I take? What's the new action that I take with the Ace of Pentacles? to improve the relationship, because we're not really processing these feelings very well. We're not sharing them enough. So Scorpio season just might dredge that up a little bit and bring just enough friction for you guys to talk and get some of that stuff transmuted. All right, so the world, I think you do it. I think you're going to come full circle, come to completion, and allow for the closure on the subject of what it's been about, the difficulty. Whatever it was that kind of shut you down, or at least put you in that zone, that meh zone of kind of being like automaton walking through life, what I call sleepwalking through life, because we aren't able to open up to each other because things have just been so intense. We had 6 planets in retrograde for months, right? That's very internal and it's very intense. So it's opening up now. The planets are all moving forward so that we move forward opening up and sharing a little bit more with each other. And so I do think you're going to have the closure, which brings growth and beauty and abundance. That's the Empress card. It births new life into the relationship, into your life, and into the way you feel. You know, you just feel more revitalized when we transmute these things, right? Kind of laughter through tears in a way, right? And then we look out into the future with more hope. So your whole reading is about doing that. And with these, you know, magician lovers, you know, how I create the energy for my love relationship to have success and growth. You're trying to really grow the relationship. Firstly, by allowing the growth within yourself, which means opening up and being vulnerable, which isn't easy. That's never easy for anyone. But that, I think, is what you really want. Look at this under the deck, internally. That's what you want. You want this love and happiness and joy with others. So you want to share. You want to share love and good times with the people in your life that you love. Down the vertical, because, you know, holding things in, keeping things sort of secretive or at least just really private has been the process you needed to go through. Absolutely. That's, you know, all those planets in retrograde, all for a reason. The universe knows what it's doing. It helps us learn a lot. But now that we've looked at so much with the 7 of Pentacles, all the effort, all the hard work that we've done doing this and going through this process has finally come to a fruition where we can have a closure on it. And I think that happened at the full moon a couple weeks ago. And now with the new moon, new beginning that we create because we've grown. Because we're birthing into our lives a new beginning that we're going to make very real. It comes from wisdom, doesn't it? It comes from deep love and devotion as well. Scorpio is so much about devoted love, like the devoted love of a mother, right? We talk about ancestral patterns with Scorpio. This is devoted love and trying to create it. It's like, not create the love, but create the space for the sharing, the synergy, right? The synergy for love. Because meh is not a feeling anybody wants to feel. You want this. It's so much nicer, right? And that's the future you're looking for. A little bit brighter, a little bit happier. This is what you're wanting to do. Bring the internal intention for more sun, more joy, more togetherness into the external sharing. With the World card, achieving this kind of growth in a relationship. That's beautiful. I love that for you, Capricorn. Don't be afraid of the friction. Friction causes heat. And heat, think about cells, right? Or like bubbles when you're boiling water, right? The heat of all those atoms, you know, boiling against each other causes that roiling boil. It causes activity. It causes action, change. And that's what this is about, this new moon. This new moon in Scorpio comes from within and makes change on the outside. So, all right, Capricorn, I wish you kindness, reverence, and gratitude. Have an excellent new moon and an excellent week, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks. Bye.